Oh, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Uh, Good evening, Jamie and Kevin. Good to see you guys. Absolutely. Gonna hang out just a little bit and give everyone time to get on. I had a late start, guys, and we got home about an hour late. Hey, Mindy. Yeah, Jamie and Mindy. There's Barry. Thought I seen Kevin. Yep, there's Kevin here. It's good to see you guys. Thank you so much for jumping on. I apologize for the short notice. It's really hard for me to plan anything. We're supposed to go to town today at about 3 o'clock and then be back by 5. And my plans kind of changed. Brother Butch, there's Chris. Good deal. It's good to see y'all. Thank y'all so much for jumping over. We've got a encounter I'm going to be sharing with you guys tonight here in a little while. And it's from one of our very own, one of our family here on Standing Goats Rescue. You guys seen him in the chat. Coindigger. It's the encounter goes back to several years back when he's younger, but I just it's fascinating. It's frightening, absolutely frightening what he went through, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. I'm trying to get it together. I literally I set the live stream notice on my phone as I was leaving. I had to stop by my sister's house. My daughter and her family is in town from Central Florida, and they're over at my sister's, and so I had to go by there and see the grandbabies and see my daughter and her mother and my sister, and just had to spend a little time with family. So I apologize for being late. Eddie Terry, welcome all you guys and gals, and thank you so much for jumping on. I got the interesting, very interesting encounter. Make sure I've learned to take them out of the email and save them in my memos, and I don't lose them that way. But we're going to be going over that one here in just a little bit. Have any of you guys, do y'all watch Sawdust Beast? Bigfoot Mama, and there's Brother Butch. It's good to see you guys. Sawdust Beast had a very fascinating show. I believe it was last night. Well, there's Angela right there. Angela and Brother Jeff sent it over to me, and I watched part of it. We just got home, and so I was listening to it as we were driving. We had so many stops to do today, and our little 2-hour journey to town ended up being several hours from around 3 o'clock until about 10 minutes ago. I just came in, and it's been hectic. But it's so good to see you guys. I'm looking at everyone that's here, and thank you so much for showing up. Angela, thank you for forwarding that to me. I wasn't able to reply. I haven't been home long, but it's absolutely very fascinating. I'm going to see if I can reach out to Janice and see if she'd be interested in coming over and just kind of hanging out with us and sharing some of that information. It's very, very fascinating, and she's a little different. Janice is, but I believe everything that she had said. I just there's something about her spirit. There's Coindigger. Welcome, buddy. It's so good to see you. And if you didn't catch it earlier, I'll let everyone know the encounter I'm going to be sharing tonight is Coindigger. You can see him there in the chat. He's part of our family. He's been with us for quite a while, and we're going to be going over that and give you guys something to think about when you're out at night. It's really frightening. It's short and to the point, and it doesn't get more real than that. I thought Jeff had popped in. I guess he didn't. But I'm gonna try to keep tonight short, unless we get somebody that has something they'd like to share and they want to come on and join us for a little bit. I got to be up at 3 in the morning. I got to be in another town about 30 miles over from us at 4:45 tomorrow morning, and then from there we're going to another area, another town to go hunting, and hopefully we'll get there right as the sun's coming up. So I don't have much time in the morning. It's kind of a get and make it happen. Oh, there's Susan and Timothy. It's good to see you guys. Good to see you. Absolutely. Now, I'm wondering, Timothy, where are you from? Are you Pasco County by chance? It's good to see you, Susan. I'm just trying to read. I guess I need my glasses. That would make things much easier. I got them here. There we go. I'm straining to see what's on the screen. There we go. Yeah, that makes things much better. Yeah, I wanted to do a shout out. I just got back on the way home. My sister or my daughter had called. She's up here visiting from Central Florida, and they're over at my sister's house. She's the one in real estate, and Tina. I'm gonna have her come on here soon. As soon as she has time. She's working a lot. She's on the go nonstop. But we're gonna have her come on and talk about what she has to offer in the real estate market. Tina's Christian, and if it isn't orchestrated by the will of God, she's not going to take any part in it. She's not a crook like some of the real estate people are. You know, there's people in every field out there that can be crooks. But we're going to have Tina come on and let everyone know what she can offer as far as properties, if anybody's interested in properties in this area. But while I was over there visiting with my daughter, Makira, and Lewis, and they brought my grandbabies down, and Makira told me about her friend down in Central Florida. So I want to do a shout out to Tim down in Pasco County, Florida. Thank you for hanging along with us and being a part of our family. Long Island Bigfoot. I didn't see you pop in. I apologize. It's good to see you. M. Tatel, good to see you. Absolutely. Good deal. We got the families coming together. Hallelujah. There's Spiral. I knew you'd pop in sooner or later. I was waiting. I thought you'd be here a little quicker. This was short notice. I put the banner up for this live stream just minutes ago as I pulled out of my sister's house, and it is 3 miles from our home to her home. So I didn't have much time to get here and get the show up and going, and I apologize for that. Many Birds, good to see you in Malachi. Amen. What a good night. God bless you. I'm so thankful to have all of you here with us. But we got a good encounter. And for you guys that didn't hear, those of you that are just now jumping in, this is from one of our own family here at Standing Goods Rescue. And you guys will see him in the comments. Coindigger. He's been with us for a while. Just led by Christ. He's one of the true. And he had shared this with me. And we'll just it's short and to the point, but the way that he's written it, it brings you right there to where it happened to him, and it's frightening. It's really, really frightening. But I'm gonna see where we at. We got a few people still jumping in, so if you guys don't mind, we'll give it a few more minutes, and so the people that are coming in that nobody's catching halfway through the encounter. I've got it up. It's ready to go. And I just want to make sure everybody can hear it from the start, so they don't have to go back and watch the playback of the show later and have to watch it twice. That can be pretty rough sometimes. Sandra, yep, there you are. I seen Jamie pop up before he even before I was even able to go live. I was scrambling to get everything together. Monica, welcome. Welcome to the family. I'm glad you made it. I thought I seen you on the show last night, I believe. I thought I seen you in the chat. Maybe you're wrong on that. Yeah, Mindy has said it's hard to talk about this stuff sometimes, and it is. It absolutely is. You know, people think we're crazy because many of us have seen things that a lot of the society just won't accept, and it's horrible that the world's that way. Stan, welcome to the party, buddy. Absolutely, I'm glad you guys made it. Glad everybody made it, and I'm gonna have Kim bring out one of the little baby puppies, and I've showed you guys a picture of them from the very start. JK, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, the notification, it probably didn't go out because I literally just put the banner up for this just minutes ago, and I didn't have much time to get it together. Rita, welcome. Yeah, Rita finally called us live. It's good to have you. It's always good. Baby, do you have one of the puppies that you? Yeah, just for a second. I just want to show them how big the babies are getting. I'm going to show off the one of the baby puppies. We're not going to bring them all because Mama has she has panic issues when the puppies leave her sight. She has 10 of them, but she was rescued, severely abused, and she's on psych medication for the rest of her life. She takes trazodone, 100 milligrams twice a day, and it's not quite enough, but we don't want to overload her. Clara Miller, it's good to see you, Clara. Thank you for jumping over here and joining in. There's Pappy. Pappy, I apologize for not giving you a heads up on this. I was running so late to get home. I was trying to do this early where we could try to get the show up 6 o'clock Eastern, 7 or 6 o'clock Central, 7 Eastern, and it just didn't happen. We had so many stops to make, and my daughter came into town, her and her family from Central Florida, and they're 3 miles down the road at my sister's house, so I had to stop by and see the grandbabies and my baby girl. But it's all good. Johnny on the spot. Yes, sir. You found us while we're live. Amen. Thank you for coming in on it. Did you get one of them? Oh, there we go.
This is
yeah, this is that you guys see how big the babies are. This is one of them. Yeah, baby. And there's little Kim named her Misfit, but that's her. Oh, where's the camera? There we go. That's her. They don't have their eyes open yet, but they love their mama, and she absolutely loves them. I wanted to show you guys these little things. We got 10 of them, and if any of you guys are down in the area of the Panhandle of Florida and you're looking for a puppy,
actually
we have 9.
Yeah, one's going.
Okay, one has found a home, but if you guys are looking for a puppy, they're free. They're not free with a home and fee. They're free, just like it used to be back in the old days. Absolutely free. I'll take her back, Mama. Got her. That little thing's about 5 pounds, and she ain't no bigger than a hamster. But I just wanted to show you guys. Southern Grit, and Monica. Well, welcome. It's good to see y'all. Thank you. Yeah, the puppy sucking on Kim's lip. I think it's feeding time for him. All right. Sharon, it's good to see you. I've been flaunting this today. Sharon hooked us up, and I said it last night, and we had a lot going on with the guests and all, but she had sent me a watch, and I've been needing a watch for so long, and when I'm in town, I never remember to get one. But this thing is absolutely beautiful. I love it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's wood. It's got the wood band. Is that not nice? Absolutely love this thing. And I did take it off today, this morning, when I went to the woods because I didn't want to scratch it or get it banged up. But I absolutely love it. And that was Sharon. Sharon Guy in the chat. She's been so good to us. So many of you guys have. And I can't thank you enough. Rescue Mom. Um, Check the homes. People take pups. Yes, absolutely. Um, I'll just put that up because this is important for you guys that have puppies or any type of small animal, babies, and you have a litter and you're trying to find homes for them. Just what Rescue Mom is saying, check the homes of these people. We look into them, and that's part of the reason we have 7 large dogs. We don't need 7 dogs, but they're part of our family, and they're not leaving here. They've grown on us, but we could not find suitable homes for them. And one guy got mad at me when he wanted one of the puppies and that we had, which was Ladybug and Petey, when we rescued them, and we told them we're not separated. They came from the same home. They were beaten together. Literally, they were abused by the same woman. And the guy wanted Petey because he's a white English bulldog. And we told him, no, you take 2 of them. They're a pair. And finally, I told him, I said, just go ahead and head out here, get in your truck and leave. You're not getting either one of them. I decided against it. We're just going to keep them because we can't guarantee a good home for them. And they've been through enough with the abuse. And the guy flipped me a finger, and he almost touched my nose with it. He stuck his hand up. I'm not going to do it, but he had his finger up, and he stuck it right there and almost touched me. And I told him, I said, buddy, if you touch me, we're going to have a problem. I just asked you to leave. You need to go. But it was all over dogs, and I think he wanted Petey because of the bulldog. And down here, people use them as hog dogs. And it takes a seriously trained couple of dogs to take on a wild pig. They are very nasty and very dangerous animals, and they make quick work out of some of the toughest pit bulls out there. They'll go through them like butter. It's a horrible, horrible venture to even look into. Yeah, Sharon, I absolutely love it. Thank you so much. Well, looks like we got a pretty good family here. Oh, there's Tracy, Nana Anna, and Ellen. Good deal. I'm glad you guys made it. I'm gonna get on with this encounter, and I don't want to tie you guys up all night. I have to be up really early also. But this encounter, if you didn't hear, if you're just now coming in, there's Brother Franklin. This one is from Coindigger, and you guys will see him in the chat. He's part of our family here. He's been with us for a while, for quite a while. And he had sent this in and shared it with me. And I'm going to read it as he wrote it. I'm not adding nothing or taking nothing away from it. He worded it perfectly. And when I read it, I was there with him. I was there going through what he went through. And it's just a lot of people on some of these other channels I've heard where if these creatures don't lay a hand on you, don't hurt you with anything, then it's considered an experience and not an encounter. And that's false. It's very, very false. If you ever bump into one of these things, you never forget it. That's an encounter. It marks you permanently. But anyway, I'll quit running off the mouth. I apologize. Hello, Brett. Welcome, buddy. Good to see you. We're fixing to, I'm going to share with you guys Coindigger's encounter. If y'all are ready, here we go. He starts off, he says, I'm 54 years old now, and back in 1995, I was dating a lady friend, and we lived 4 miles apart. I decided one late night at 3 a.m. to walk to her home as she welcomed me to do. I was walking a secondary paved road out in the deep country, and it was very low, visibility. And I started to hear something was walking alongside me in the wood line up off the berm that seemed to come out of nowhere. And as I stepped up my walking pace, it did as well. As I would stop, the same as it did. I stood quiet for a minute and it made no noises. So I started jogging and it kept my pace. And then all of a sudden, it ran approximately 10 feet ahead of me uh, and still in the woods. And then I heard it come down off the embankment, crossing the road with what I knew was a bipedal run, with hearing the soles of its feet slapping off of the pavement. And as it made it to the other side of the road into the woods, it stopped and gave a whistling sound as it breathed, as if it was congested. I continued past it all the while it stood there, and then it turned and walked away. It had a big impact on me for years. I'm a born again and was then also. Thanks for hearing my story. And this type of thing happens so often, and um, I believe the sole reason he didn't have issues with that is just what he said. He's a born again Christian. You know, he's been washed in the blood of the Lamb, and uh, these things know that. And if you guys seen the when I brought Scott Carpenter on, Scott had said something that really resonated within me because I told him the one question that I had is why does it seem these things are always wherever I go I end up having some type of activity, whether it be mild, something really minor, and a lot of times it could be an animal, but most of the wild game, especially in the areas where we hunt, they're not going to hang around and socialize with you. If they see you, they're gone. They're going to get off and get in the other direction, and they're not going to hang out 50 feet from you and toss acorns at you. And I told Scott, I said, it just bothers me. Why do they do that? They don't do it to my hunting partners. It's just me. And he says, they, when you've been saved, when you give your life to Christ, there's a there's a light. That anointing comes off of you in a light, and these creatures can see that, and they know who you are. They know you walk with Christ. You walk in Christ. He walks in you. You are with Him as one, and these creatures see it, and they know that they can't touch you. They can't hurt you, but they can intimidate you and mess with you. And that just it resonated within me. And then I seen like what Coindigger said, you know, the same thing. That where he was at out in the middle of nowhere, basically on the middle of the night, going down that road, and this thing's beside him in the woods. It could have taken him. And I believe if he weren't saved, if he were living a rough, rowdy life and he wasn't following after the face of God, I believe that thing would have hurt him or tried to hurt him. Just my opinion on it, but it's frightening to imagine being in that situation. I thought we just seen somebody else. Oh, there's Mid South Sasquatch, Cryptid Research. Good to see you. Thank you for being here with us. Absolutely, Johnny on the spot. And if you guys look in the chat there, and I'm going to bring attention to this because I have to. Makira Ruiz, that is my daughter. I see you in there. I love you. Thank you for coming over and visiting with us. And if I've missed any of you guys, there's Bama Bigfoot. I apologize. I try to stay on top of it. And not a Yankee. You don't believe that. What don't you believe? Yeah, you know, right here, JK says it all right there. There's so much in what he just said. Satan doesn't bother people who are not saved. He doesn't need to. He's already got them. And it's so easy to think that, you know, to think that through. It just applies so often to the world we live in. I'm going to pop this up. What Kevin had just posted up there. Donnie, do you or any of the folks here believe the Bigfoots can understand our language. Personally, I have always thought that they could. I don't have any factual data to prove that. It's just a feeling that I've always had. I've always believed that they can understand us, and I don't know. I don't have the proof to back up what I'm claiming. But the video that I watched today, that I listened to today from Sawdust Beast, what that lady on there was saying was that she's been involved with these creatures since she was 3 years old, and her granddaddy had that one that they called Fox, and I'm sure most of you guys have heard about that story. But she says that they speak their own language and they can speak English, and I just somehow I believe that. I absolutely do. I just I don't want one to say hey to me when I'm out in the woods. That would cause me to have a heart attack. Absolutely scare me. Uh, oh, there's Boots. Welcome, Barb. It's good to have you. And I don't know if Tim is here, Tim from Pasco County, but I just uh, Tim's a friend of my daughter and her fiance, and he's been with us for a while. From what I hear, he's been following us and been in just about all of our chats. And I just wanted to say, hey to Tim from Pasco County. Thank you for being a part of us. Thank you for supporting us and being friends with my daughter and her fiance, Lewis. You know, we're trying to get them to move up here a little closer to us. Hopefully, that's not something they didn't want out. So I just let the cat out of the bag. There's Fletch. Yep, Tracy, absolutely. And that there's so much about that. When Tracy's saying, she thinks they're very intelligent. You hear that a lot. Some of the things that that people are claiming that they've witnessed these things do. Yeah, Myra said Tim was excited that I did a shout out to him, but he's part of us. Um, he's part of the family here, like the rest of you guys, and we're so lucky. Look in the chat. We're all one. We're one family. There are many different colors, different races. Just we're different in every way, but we're all bound together. And it's an awesome thing. It's absolutely awesome. Life's so good. I hate to live on the side where there's always trouble and aggravation. I ain't got no room for that. It's been too many years that when I was younger, before I got saved, that life wasn't so good for me. Oh, Piper, I didn't even see you in there. I apologize. I'm trying. My eyes are really bad. I can't read real easy if it's small. Okay, I'm going to put this up, what Piper's saying. I apologize. It's taking me a minute. My eyes are horrible and I need glasses. I need good glasses. But Piper says when these things know that you know what they are, they show themselves. I talked to them and even seen one cloaked. And that's something we're hearing so much about. We're hearing it regularly now, where people are catching them as they're going into this this cloaking or whatever they're doing. You'll see them 1 second, and these people are literally witness them vanish, like they're turning translucent and then completely transparent. They're gone. It's bizarre. It's frightening. I've seen two creatures that looked like they were made out of water. I don't know what they were. They weren't big like these Sasquatch. They were really small, around 4 feet, 4.5 feet. And to this day, I haven't found out what they were. They didn't make any sounds. There was no growling, no nothing. They just, the one looked at me. He was facing me just 20 feet away from me. The other one walked past, and I was in a different area, completely different area. And he walked past me on the road and just about gave me a heart attack. I was hunting, and that was the end of my hunting trip. but we hear a lot about that. And, if any of you guys that are in the chat right now, if y'all have had an encounter you'd like to share with us tonight, I'm not going to keep this dragging out as long as we went last night. And for those of you that tried to hang with us and you couldn't, I apologize. But we had a very fascinating show. We had JK on, and then we had Derek join us from Ireland, and it was an awesome show. It ended up crazy. Oh, there's Dave, brother Dave. He's from Ireland also. Oh, there's Toby. Oh, Toby must have just got here. Oh, good deal. I thought I missed you. Yeah, Happy New Year to you. Everybody here is doing wonderful. Life is good. Trying to get caught up from the holiday hassle and um, that bank account depletion that happens every Christmas time. Um, this is one I'm going to put up with Johnny on the spot is saying, referring to the Sasquatch. Yes, they even imitate English telepathically, can speak with us through our minds. That's another one of their supernatural abilities and why they understand English. I've never, me personally, I've never had them do that that telepathic communication. I've heard of it. I've heard a lot of people that have witnessed it. Hey, Lita, but I haven't. I haven't experienced that, and I don't want to be honest. But it goes in hand where people believe that these things are supernatural, and what Franklin has said is on the same lines as Johnny on the spot right there. I tend to believe that a creature that can jump from one dimension to another can understand our language, and who's to say that that's not what they're doing? Some people claim that they're going into this cloaking, this invisible factor, but it's very possible they could be jumping into another dimension. Nothing. I wouldn't put anything past them. There's been too many very honest, very good people come forward with what they witnessed, and it's supernatural stuff. A bear does bear stuff, but these creatures, they do things that just far exceed anything that humans can do, and just bizarre. Yes, EM, I did see a clear creature. I've seen two, not at the same time, about a month apart. One was in January, and the second one was in February. About around 20 miles distance, 18 to 20-mile distance between the two properties where I witnessed it at. And I don't know what it was. There were no features. It looked as though it had no hair, very slick. The skin was very slick, almost as though it had a skin-tight uniform over its entire body. Very, very small ears. There's something. This is from my daughter, you guys, who I introduced you to. She's headed back to Central Florida tomorrow. And what she's saying here, she was just now leaving Aunt Tina's, and she seen something standing and running in the woods, and whatever it was, I'm not sure what it was, but about 4 feet tall, and it scared her. I lived over there in that area for quite a while. That's where I was at when I broke my neck. And I had a trailer on the property, and I lost everything. And the property was almost paid off, but I couldn't afford to have kept it. And instead of losing it outright, my sister and her husband took it over, and they built a real nice home there. But before they had done that, that property, we had a lot of strange occurrences on it. And it got so bizarre at one point that I had to call in a paranormal research team, and they came from out of state and spent a couple of days doing their investigation, and they got a lot of evidence, and then we got a lot of answers as to why the paranormal part of it, why that was happening. We just never found out about the other things. There was some really weird stuff that happened on that property, and I wouldn't doubt that at all. If Makira had seen something over in that area, it's wooded. It's heavily wooded around there. We all live out in the country, and that's it's pretty deep out here. We got woods, animals, and sand. Oh, Johnny on the spot. He's got to go. Yes, good night, brother. Thank you for coming over and hanging out with us. Um, Pappy, thank you for posting my email up on there. If you guys want to email me, I will throw the email up on the screen here for you. Let me. Boy, I need glasses. Okay, here we go. I think. Yep, that's it. All right. I put the email in on the bottom of the screen there on the ticker for you guys that if you are looking to email me, that is my email address. I do check it quite regularly. I'm very busy during the daytime. Sometimes it takes me a while to get to you, depending on how far I'm backed up. There for a while, I don't know how many I had. I was behind. It was over 1,000, and it took me a long time to get caught up. If I don't stay on top of it, if I miss 2 days of it, it takes me about a week to get them caught up because I don't have the time to dedicate to it. And I apologize. If you guys have emailed me and you haven't got a response from me, please forward the email back to me because I may not have got it. I was without a phone for a couple of days. They transferred my number over to one of my old phones that I had so that I could make and receive phone calls, but I wasn't getting text messages. I wasn't getting a lot of stuff on it, and I don't know the reason for that, but um, it is fixed. The new phone did come in, and we got everything programmed. I'm getting everything on it, all of my email, everything's showing up again, as long as this one doesn't die. So if you need to reach out to me, um, the email is on the bottom of the screen right there. Just send me an email and put encounter. Even if you're needing prayers, a prayer request, please write encounter in the subject line. When I go through my emails, I do get a lot of spam and a lot of just junk stuff shows up. And so what I started doing is have people write encounter in the subject line or in the header. And when I go through the emails, all of them that have encounter on them are the ones I get to first. It doesn't have to be an encounter. If you need something, if there's any way that I can help you, email me and put encounter in the subject, and I'll get to it before the rest of them. Oh, there's Deal. Where's D? Yep, there's D and Will showed up. Oh, Derek's with us. Good deal. Good to see you. I'm glad you guys come on. Juanita, hello, hello. Good evening to you. And I just missed a message. Oh, geez, where'd it go? Um, yeah, Kevin, it's definitely going to be getting more hectic. I have no doubt about that. But it's all good. Life is good. If any of you guys have anything that you want to share with us tonight on here, we're not going to stay on very late. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to post the link for you guys. If any of you would like to jump on with us and share something, share an encounter or a story if you have, I'm going to put the link to join me down in the chat right now, and you can click on there. You'll have to come on, and you'll have to give microphone and camera permissions. It'll be right there on the screen. You just click yes on those two. Test your mic. Put your name in right below that. It's very simple. When the screen shows up, you can see yourself. Just say something and make sure the little green bar on the right side of that picture window jumps up and down, and then scroll down below that. Put the name in you want people to see, and then the next line down, it'll say Enter Studio, and you click on it, and I'll bring you right in. So if you guys would like to share anything with the rest of us here tonight, you're more than welcome to jump on and we will put you up there. Uh, Pappy, thank you so much for posting that. I did not have time to put it in the description. Um, and what Pappy has posted, if you guys don't know, we have tremendous help from you guys. And the help that we receive to help us with the goats, and not for the Sasquatch stuff, only for the goats, for the animals. We use PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. And I did not have time tonight to put it in the description. I was actually filling the description out as I was trying to get home from my sister's because I was running late. But Pappy has posted it up there, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much, brother. Absolutely. Thank you. I was more focused on getting home in time. So we get Coindigger's encounter up there. That's just, it's an absolutely fascinating encounter. And if y'all have anything like that you'd like to share with us, you don't have to use your name. You can remain anonymous. I'd like for you to come on and share it and tell it yourself. There's so much more emotion when you hear a firsthand account versus a second or third hand account. There's so much more to it. But also something I wanted to run by you guys to get y'all's opinion while I got everyone here tonight. I've had several people reach out to me the past 2 months, and they have stories about bizarre stuff. A lot of it's paranormal, ghosts, demons, just craziness. And we live in a world we're surrounded by these things. But as long as we carry on the whole armor of God, there's nothing they can do to us but scare us. But I thought about doing something like a Freaky Friday show, uh, but not on a Friday. All these other channels, and a lot of you guys are subscribed to a lot of these other channels, and they do their shows on Friday night. But just do a show where people can come on and share the bizarre things that they've encountered that are not Sasquatch related. And if you guys are up for that, then I have to figure out how I could do it. It's hard to do a set time and date because working with these animals, when they go down, it's normally nighttime or it's on Sunday. If you know it's demonic. You know Satan's involved when he'll take one of these goats and there's nothing wrong with them. They're in perfect health, and then they crash, and it'll happen on a holiday where you have to pay double time. It's considered emergency services for the veterinarian, or it'll happen on Sundays. So the choice is let the animal suffer and go to church, or skip church and then pay double time for the animal. And we skip church. And it's just the way it'll always be for us. And it costs us a lot of money, but it's the calling that God's placed in our life. But because of that, I can't run a fixed schedule to where we do shows at and as an example, 7 o'clock Monday night or Wednesday night. I can't set them like that because we have so many things that happen. Yesterday we had to take the baby Littlefoot to the vet again, and come to find out his stomach is having problems processing the powdered goat's milk. And we don't buy the um, the stuff you find in the feed store. We buy the actual powdered goat's milk from Walmart, from the bacon section. It's very expensive, but there's nothing else in it. It's just powdered goat's milk. And there's a preservative they put in it. We think the preservative is what's reacting with his belly, or the veterinarian thinks that, and we believe that she's right. She knows more about that than we do. But they give us a deadline. In 4 weeks, he has to be 100% off of milk and on grain and hay and water only. And so we got our hands full because he is a preemie and he's a bottle baby. So this is going to be a little bit of a job. But anytime these animals fall like that, it doesn't happen during the daytime when you can just simply take them to the vet. It happens at night, at midnight, on weekends, during holidays, anytime that it's most difficult to get help, that's when it happens. But we'll always be on top of it. Makaira, I see your message. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. I love you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. And tell your mom we love her. We'll talk to all you guys and kiss the babies for me. I love all of you. That's my daughter. I don't get to see her very often because she lives in Central Florida. But they're up here visiting for a couple of days. I got to leave back tomorrow. She's had a bunch of weird experiences too. Maybe I can get her to come on when we start doing. If you guys are okay with me doing shows about like the paranormal and stuff like that, it won't be all the time. We'll have a set, like a set day for it, or a set time. And if we have shows like that to do, I'll have to figure out a title to put on the name. You guys know if there's encounter in the title, it's going to be a Sasquatch or one of them werewolf things. But for the other stuff, I'm not sure exactly. I don't want to use the Freaky Friday because I actually heard that from another show somewhere, and I just can't remember where. Kevin says God will get you for this kind of stuff, Donnie. He will get me for what? I don't quite understand that. Oh, John Arnett. Good to see you, John. I'm doing very good, buddy. And there's Paul Tavares. Good to see you. I didn't see you guys earlier. I guess y'all just popped in. Well, everybody's here. I was hoping I'd have. There is another encounter that I got. I have not started it. It needs a lot of editing. There's a lot of words that I have to remove from it. They're not family friendly words, and it's not the mild cursing. It's some pretty rough language, but I'm going to try to remove them somehow. Some of it's going to be I may have to change the way that he's got it phrased, and I'm afraid it's going to mess it up to where the encounter is not going to be what it really was. And so I'm waiting to see if he'll redo it. I emailed the guy to see if he'd rewrite it and send it back to me and just leave out all the foul language. Hopefully he'll do that. It's just 2 days ago that I got it, and I emailed him back, so hopefully we'll hear something soon. I'm going to put this up with Mark. I just seen it in the chat. Mark says, I'm from Arizona, near White River Apache Reservation. I was fishing at a stream, and we heard a growl and looked back at a huge hairy beast. All I can remember is his terrifying eyes. You know, that's the one thing that gets me out of when I do see them. They scare me. I don't care if they're a mile off. They scare me when I see them. But if they look at me, there's something about their eyes. And I've never seen the glowing red eyes and the evil sounding stuff you hear so many that people have witnessed. I haven't seen that. Just big black eyes, the cold black eyes, and when they look at you, it's almost as though they cut into you, like they can read your spirit or something. I don't know. It's scary. It's absolutely scary. Mark, if you'd like to pop in and share it with us, let me know. I posted the link on here, but I'll do it again. Oh, I got you, Kevin. Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, he was making a joke and I didn't get it. I'm a little slow, buddy. I'm tired. I got up at 3 o'clock this morning, and I got to be up at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. And I'm just about give out. I'm just exhausted. I don't get a lot of downtime. Oh, I think I missed the other half of what Paul just put up. I'm sorry if you guys are hearing the click of the mouse. My microphone went out. The new mic that I bought, I got it. It's a cheap one from Walmart. It's made by a company ONN. I think it's Own or On. And the microphone is what was doing all that crazy buzzing sounds that everyone was hearing. And so I'm having to use the mic that's built into the computer, and it's not very good. But it's I forget what they call it, omnidirectional, to where it picks up everything, all the background noise. If the dog runs past in the hall back behind, 30 feet behind the computer, it picks it up, and it's so loud. But I will be replacing. I'll be getting another mic. I just gotta wait till we get caught up. I actually looked at them yesterday. They're just they're proud of them things. I don't know why they would be worth that much. JK is ONN. ONN. That's the microphone that I had that went out and started making all that buzzing noise. I don't know who makes it unless that's the name of the company. It worked great the first couple of times, and then it just started buzzing. And I tried everything I knew to do, which I don't know much, and nothing fixed it. And so I went on StreamYards, and on StreamYard, you don't have to go live. You can, for you guys that are looking for a way that you can communicate with your loved ones and your friends, your neighbor, whoever, without having to use the phone. If you have internet, you can go to StreamYard and you can sign up for a free account, and it's limited. I think you get an hour at a time on the free version, but it uses your microphone and camera, and you can do record only or broadcast to YouTube, Facebook, or any of these other places. And if you put it on record only, and then at the bottom it'll say invite, and you click on that invite, and the link is right there. You copy the link and you can email it or text it to whomever you want to join you, and then they'll receive it. They'll click on it when they get it, and they can pop in, and it's just you and them if you got it set to record only. And it's not being recorded. You can still talk and communicate with the person you send it to, but it won't record it until you hit the record button. So it's like having a video phone. It's really helpful. Fletch says the Sasquatch is after microphone, Donnie. I'd laugh about that, but I wouldn't doubt it. So much strangeness has happened here. The paranormal stuff is not ramped up, but there's something's going on outside. Something really strange is happening on the outside, and I think we may end up having to bless the property again. But that's all good. Yeah, a lot of people are not getting the notice. This one was I couldn't get home in time to do a proper heads up. Lately, we've been running so fast and nonstop. I haven't had the free time to actually do a heads up to give you guys a few hours notice before we get started, and I apologize for that. We get people that want to come on and tell their story, and we got a few of them that haven't made it yet. And the nights that they were wanting to come on, I got the show started, and they never showed up, so I had to kind of make a show out of nothing. And something happened where they couldn't make it. It's all it is. It's no hard feelings, and they'll get it together. But you never know. Sometimes people, when you have these encounters, it does stuff to you, especially when you try to share it, and family doesn't believe you, or they laugh at you, they make jokes about it. I've heard it all, and I know all of you guys have heard the same, and it's really hard. And when you get the opportunity to come forward on a platform like YouTube or Facebook or any of these other platforms, it can really be nerve-wracking when the time comes for you to actually go on and the first time I ever shared my encounter, I was all for it until the last few minutes when it was time to go on, and I started panicking. And just thank God, Wes from Sasquatch Chronicles, he made it so much easier. Well, we got Derek. Let's see if I can get him on.
Good evening.
Oh, there you are. Hey, buddy, you made it.
No worries. No, I
Yeah,
heard
good
you
to see
talking
you.
about paranormal experiences.
Yes, yeah.
And now, personally, I have not had paranormal experiences, but I have two stories to tell you
Oh, yeah.
about things that happened like that. They now, as I said last night, I'm a 48-year-old man. But whenever I went to school, my secondary school or grammar school, as we called it here,
Yeah.
it was the school was in set in grounds, if you understand me. It had rugby fields and football pitches and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that around it. But beside that, there was what we call a housing estate, and there was a small bungalow. That's a one-story house, and it had a bad reputation. And apparently there was some sort of entity or being there. And this is going to sound silly, but it was described as the size of a dog, a small thing, and it sat in the corner of the room and it watched the people,
Oh, wow.
in the living room. And it just, used to sit and watch them. And
Wow.
that
The people that
that
live there?
house, it used to just sit there, apparently
Wow.
underneath the radiator, the heating system. And he used to sit there and just stare at the people in the bungalow. And for a long time, no one would live there.
Wow.
So make up your own mind. Was there something there, or was there something not? And the other story, I'll tell you. I live in a place called Lighthearted. It's the home of Danny Boy, the famous song. And if you go 10 miles up the road, you come to Dungiven, which is a very small town. But between there and that, there's how would I describe it? There's an old house halfway up a hill, set on its own grounds, and there's a story about the woman of the house. Apparently, had a maid come into her room to do her hair and things.
Yeah, yeah.
And apparently that house is haunted. Nobody will buy it. It's a prime spot of land, don't get me wrong. But no one will buy that. No one will move into the it needs renovated now, but no one will move into the house because of the rumours of the lady that didn't want to leave the property and still sitting there.
Wow. And both of them are near your house now?
Well, the first one's within, God, not even a mile away where I'm sitting now. The other one's about 8 miles up the road.
Wow. Yeah, that's scary. That's speaking of that, I just JK, we had him on last night whenever you came on with us, and he just posted that
JK was good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He said, do you think dogs can see things that we can't? And
I know definitely. I definitely think that our pet animals. I only ever had one dog in my life, but I had a cat, a Louis cat. She got bit by a dog whenever she was young, and she only had one eye. So she was about 5 weeks old, Me
Wow.
and the kids, we always called her Louis One-Eyed Cat. But she saw things. There's no doubt in my mind she saw things that weren't there. That I
Oh,
couldn't,
yeah.
sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a time when I was living and I had my own wee room, for doing man things. And she
Yeah.
used to come in with me. But there was times, you would be sitting, playing your games or doing whatever, and you would see her looking over to her left, over to
Wow.
her right, or whatever, and you'd look up and see the wall, but there was nothing there. I was thinking, oh, there's an insect or something crawling up or down, but no,
Oh, yeah.
nothing there.
Yeah. And
But
yeah, when
definitely, animals have a greater um, perception than
yes.
humans
Yeah.
do. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's because they don't eat all the preservatives and garbage that we put in our bodies. Uh, but that reminded me when JK had asked that before um, Kim and I got married. This house that we're in, Kim's grandmother had it built in the early 80s. And so I had a mobile trailer up the road. Oh, wow. Rita, thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Rita just sent us 50 on the PayPal. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. What a tremendous help. God is so good.
Very generous.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But the trailer I lived in was old. And my neighbor was a couple of 100 feet away in front of me, but off to my right side, the south end of my trailer. And they owned the 5 acres that we lived on. They owned the trailer they were in and my trailer. Well, Dan, uh, the husband, he was a Vietnam vet, and his mother lived in the trailer that I was renting from him. And she died in the trailer. And so at night, uh, 7 days a week, around 11 o'clock, you could hear dishes clinking around, and it always sounded like two little ladies talking to each other, off, but you can hear it. You couldn't quite make out what they were saying, but it was coming from my kitchen, and it never bothered me. And later, about a year into it, I come down the hallway and I smelled cigarette smoke, and I thought that's crazy. That's so bizarre because they never allowed smoking in that trailer, and Dan's mother did not smoke. Well, then it got to where it was happening once every couple of days, and then it started happening every day, and then it was happening frequently. And one night, I was laying in my bed at the end of the trailer, and I kept my bedroom door open. It was just me and my two dogs, and the dogs sleep with me. They're laying in the bed, and little bit starts growling, and it woke me up. I have sleep disorder, and so I only go into 2 stages of sleep. I don't go into all the sleep stages, and I don't take the medication they give me for it. I don't like putting that junk in my body, and so I get by with what little sleep I get, but I awaken very easily. And when a little bit started growling, I opened my eyes and I was trying to get focused on because I could hear her, I could feel her. She was laying against my side, and I could feel her shaking. She was a big dog, right at 90 pounds. And so I reached to put my hand on her back, and I slid up trying to, because I couldn't see, it was so dark. And I got my hand on her head, and I realized she was facing the door. And I'm focusing, I couldn't see her at the time. And I turned and looked toward the door, which is right there by my head. And there's a little bit of a light coming from the microwave all the way at the other end of the house. And I could see there was nobody in the doorway. And then Piglet, the other one, she started growling, and she never growled. And both of them are staring at the bedroom door. And then I hear somebody walking down my hallway, very loud, very deliberate footsteps. And they stepped into the doorway to my bedroom, but there was nobody there. And they walked in, and sounded like they stood right next to my bed. And probably 30 seconds or so, they were just standing there, and I was so afraid, but there was nothing there. I could see the wall, and the walls were white, and there was absolutely nothing there. And then it turned and walked out of the door, down the hall, into the kitchen, and I never heard it leave. Well, I got up and I grabbed a firearm and I went into the kitchen expecting to find somebody. There was nobody in the house. The door was still locked. The little chain, that old trailer had a chain lock on it, on the door, and it was still on. And if they would have went out of the door, they couldn't have put the chain back. But
No.
it got really bad, and we had to have the house blessed. But yeah, they uh, every time they would hear it or see it, and they'd start growling, and within a minute or two, the footsteps would start, and this got to where it was happening regularly. And then it started stinking, smelling like boiled eggs. It had a really nasty, like if somebody passed gas. It had a really nasty stench to it. And I talked to the head preacher at our church, and he said it sounds like a demon when it starts smelling like that. And I forget what he called it, but he said when you smell that, it's a demonic entity, and you need to have a blessing done. And so I tried to bless it the way he told me, and it did not work. And I tried it again, it did not work. And I told him, I said, well, I tried to bless it, it's not working, and I was doing it wrong. And he went over it with me, and he said, he explained to me, here's how you do it. If you can't do it, let me know, and I'll come and do it. And I done it the way he told me, and it worked the last time. But it just it makes you wonder how to. Yep, I just seen Nana Anna said in there. And Mindy, sulfur. That's what it was. It has a sulfur smell. Just nasty. Yeah, just like boiled eggs. And it was so bizarre because the house had never been smoked in, and it was so blatant that it was cigarette smoke. There's nothing else that smells like a cigarette but a cigarette. But yeah, the dogs would
Oh,
see it all the time.
I can believe that. I had a neighbor, and I mean literally from where I'm sitting, 20 meters across the road. And one night she came and she knocked my door, and she was really upset. She was nearly crying, and she says, "There's people in my house." You know,
Wow.
and I says, "No, not Nicola. There can't be." But I threw some clothes on, and I went across the road, and she went through the house. It was a three bed. Well, uh, how can I explain this? In Britain, you know, generally the houses are brick built. They'll have
Yeah.
two rooms in the bottom floor, a living room, kitchen, and then up the
Yeah.
stairs they usually have three bedrooms and a bathroom. We went up the stairs, and in the small front room,
Yeah.
so we went in there, and Nicola was talking. I was standing behind her, literally behind her shoulder, and she was talking to people. And she says, "You have to leave my house. I don't want you here. You're an intruder, etc., etc., etc." Now,
She
this
could
was in the
see
middle
it.
of the night. Oh, she could see somebody, but I couldn't.
Wow. Wow.
And she was talking away. But like, I'm from the Protestant faith, Church Ireland. Nicola was Roman Catholic, but the next morning she went, and I went with her. We went to the priest, the local priest, and he
Yeah.
came to the house to do, a blessing and all that there to scare them out. I mean, so obviously it was being taken seriously.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's frightening. Oh hey, I
The
just
other
seen.
thing like that I'll talk
Look.
about is
Yeah.
I used to work in DuPont, worked in DuPont for 20 years. And there was a girl I worked with called Sharon Davison, and people mocked her, and they said, oh, they used to call her Schizo Sharon, and
Wow.
she is X number of faces and blah blah blah. And I'd known the young woman for years. Don't get me wrong, beautiful young girl. I liked her, I really did. But there was one day I came in the morning, 8 o'clock, went in through the floor of where we worked, saw Sharon, stopped to speak to her, and she turned round and she spoke to me. But as I sit here tonight talking to you, Donnie, I was looking at a different girl. Now, this is a
Wow.
lady I'd known for 7 or 8 years, but even her face looked different, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, was it a possession?
I, I, well, I'm not going to say, I don't know what it was, but as I say, I'd known this girl for 8 years, and I just
Wow.
stopped and hello, Sharon, how are you? And she turned around from the desk when she was working from the computers, and she just looked me in the face. And now, whenever I say her face looks different, I don't mean it was, a different person's face. It just didn't look as I was
Yeah,
expecting it to be. But it
had
was
like
actually scary,
that blank
if you
stare.
understand me.
Yeah.
And she was very blunt. She didn't talk to me the way she used to talk. And I was like, right, fair enough, Sharon, I'll see you later on. And whenever I did see you later on, back to normal, 100%.
Wow.
Just see that one instant when she turned around. It's hard to explain here, but as she turned around and spoke, it was actually scary, genuinely scary.
Oh, I imagine. Yeah, we've seen some bizarre things. Kim and I both have witnessed some pretty bizarre stuff, and the supernatural. There's so much of it that I don't understand at all. But it's when you see someone affected by it, uh, everything about them changes. Uh, the overall expression that's on their face. The one of my friends, he had a problem drinking, a lot of alcoholism, and he got to dabbling into that Wicca, trying to be a Wiccan, and then he got into the game, the conjuring uh, Ouija board. He got into the Ouija board, started doing that stuff, and
Don't
going to
say
the
those
casino.
things.
Yeah, and whatever got inside of him, his eyes have always been really dark, not black, but almost black, real dark. And I didn't see him for probably a year. And then when I did run into him, he wasn't the same person. He sounded different, and his eyes weren't dark like they have been. They were almost brown. The colored part, really light brown. It didn't even look real. It looked like eyes you see in a mannequin. There was no glassiness to him. It was scary. But he ended up he's locked up now. He's in prison. But it just when you go down that path, dabbling in that stuff, if you ain't careful, it'll get you, and it's a bad road. Um, hey, Michael, it's good to see you. And I seen we had there's Bill Wagner and Randy joined us. Good deal. And Audrey. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys, if I missed you earlier. I was listening to what Derek was sharing with us, and Michael Carty, absolutely. Michael, we're doing wonderful. Just been so busy, and I'm trying to hunt when I have time, and I'm actually going to go in the morning. Yep, Nana, it's really dark. Derek,
I'll put a light on.
yeah, you're almost blacked out, buddy. You look like that old Max Headroom commercial back in the day. Whoa, there we go.
Too much light now.
Oh yeah, we can see you. You got a halo on you now. That's a good
Oh,
thing.
I am.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I'm glad you jumped over, and yeah, that's
No, it's no problem. No, but see, you were talking about the Ouija board. Now, I'll tell
yeah,
a story from whenever I was a teenager, 15 or 16 years of age. And I lived in what we call here a housing estate. And the next housing estate over was called Edenmore Park. And around Halloween, we went to, all the kids was running about together. And somebody had this mad idea, oh, we'll do a Ouija board, blah, blah, blah. And they took the toothpaste mug out of their mother's house and drew a Ouija board on the floor. And that was grand. Everybody pushed the glass about and all that good stuff. But the thing was, apparently, we talked to a person that died in the fire, right? And a week later,
wow.
the house, that we'd done this in the backyard of, in the shed, there was a young child, about 4 years of age, and they opened. No, it wasn't an open fire. It was a wood burning sort of number. Opened the fire, took a spill out of the fire and dropped it on the floor and burned the house out.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
as you say, wow. I mean, think that through. Coincidence, maybe, probably, but
Yeah, I
there's
just
always that 1% in the back of your mind. What's going on there?
yeah, I don't believe in coincidence. Things happen for a reason, good or bad. There's reasoning behind it. Um, we live in such a strange time, and those of us that are alive today we're going to witness things that have never been seen in history. We're coming
The
into
thing
some
is,
dark
the thing is, you can go through your life completely oblivious, not notice any of this stuff. I mean, I'm talking about stuff that happened 35 years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
But whenever you sit down and think about it, it all starts to add up. If you understand what
yeah.
I'm saying,
Oh yeah.
you just have
My
to
youngest,
have a certain awareness.
yeah, absolutely. And my youngest sister, she's grown now, but she's 4 years younger than I am. And when we were teenagers living in our parents' home, her and one of her girlfriends brought a Ouija board over to my mother and dad's house, and they played with it. My father worked a lot, and mother did a lot of stuff with the cheerleaders, the young girls, the young cheerleaders, and they played with that thing in the house. The house was new. It was not quite a year old when mom and dad bought it. And so it was, everything was in great condition. It smelled good. Everything about the house was awesome. Well, after they did this Ouija board thing, stuff started happening. And I'd go down the hall. It was a 4-bedroom, 2 den, had a bar and a kitchen. It was a fairly large house. And the hall was really long. And at the very end of the hall, on the right was my bedroom, and on the left was my parents' bedroom. Well, in the middle of the hall on the left is the bathroom. And then right before you get to the bathroom, there's 2 bedrooms, one on either side. And I'd go down that hall at night, and the only one home in the first bedroom on the right, as you're going from the living room down the hall, was my sister's room, the one who played with the Ouija board. And I would go past that door, and someone would call me. I'd hear, "Hey, Donnie," and just as clear as day. And it was a voice I didn't recognize. I never heard it before, but my natural reaction, I turned and said, "Yeah." I'm thinking it was my sister in the room. Flip the light on, there's nobody there. And then I get this really weird feeling, creeped out, and I thought, I'm imagining it. I'd go to my room, do whatever I was going to do, and come back out. It would happen again. And then I'd sit at the you have to go through the first den. You come out of the hallway in the first den, which is really large, and then you step down into the second den. And in the second den, sitting on the couch, you can look under the baby grand piano and you can see all the way down the hall. And I was sitting on the couch watching the TV, which is a little to the right. There's a big arch opening right there, and the TV is on the right of it. But looking through the arch, you look under the piano down the hall, and I'm watching TV, and I see what I thought was a big dog, a large dog, shoot across from one bedroom to the other, just run across the hall. And I turned and looked, and I was the only one home, and there wasn't any sound. It was just movement, black movement. So I went back to watching TV, and then I heard my name called again. And this happened for probably 2 or 3 months. And then laying in my bed one night, my closet door, if you were to go inside my closet and knock a hole in the wall, you would end up in my mother and father's room in their closet. And I'm laying in bed, the closet door is by my head, and somebody starts knocking on the closet door. And it was loud. And I reached over and grabbed it and opened the door. There's nobody in it. I closed it back, and no longer did I put my hand on my lap or across my stomach, and the knocking started. And just like somebody just tap, 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 tap. It was just three knocks, three, and it kept going. Finally, I got mad. I hollered out, "Stop it!" And I hit the door with the back of my fist. Well, then it moved to behind the headboard in the wall, which that didn't really um, concern me that much, but it went to the corner. It kept moving. Each knock, it was further and further over. And when it got to the corner and turned down the long wall, that wall goes to the outside and it's brick. There's no way you can knock on that brick and make that wood knock. And it sounded like somebody taking their knuckles and knocking on the wood. And it knocked and went all the way around my bedroom. And that scared me so bad. But it wasn't long after that I ended up moving out. I couldn't deal
That's
with it.
interesting though, because in England there's a lot of legends about dogs, and they sort of split down the middle. Some of them are protective. You know, you hear about a lost traveler, and a black dog will turn up and guide them home. But on the other hand, you hear, well, the legends, you know,
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
dog with either green or red glowing eyes,
Well,
and they're not a pleasant creature, around the house or whatever, and you don't want to
yeah,
encounter them. What do they call them? They call them apparently the black shuck.
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 Yeah,
Well, shuck's Irish for a ditch. That's what goes into the what would we call it? The folklore. But
oh,
definitely,
right.
there's a big folklore with black dogs in England, especially.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm going to put this one comment up because I've experienced the same thing. What Punchy Pants is saying here. He says, I live in a haunted house and I turn music on loud at night to sleep. Thought I was somehow misplacing things and putting things in odd places. My eyes playing tricks on me, seeing shadows. Uh, that's the exact same thing that I did before I moved out. I started turning the radio on in the room and I thought I was losing stuff, but nothing disappeared that I never got it back. But uh, back when I was a teenager, and even now to this present day, at the end of the day, I take my ball cap off. Everything I have in my pockets, including my wallet, I put inside my ball cap on my dresser. And I've always done that. And 3 or 4 times a week, I would get up the following morning and grab my ball cap, go to put everything in my pocket so I can go to work. I worked back then also, and my keys would be gone. Once Mama found them in the freezer, they were found on top of the back part of the couch. Just bizarre places, but they were always found. They never disappeared permanently. But it's so crazy. Some of the places, I didn't drink coffee until I was in my mid-40s. I never drank it. And back then, a couple times my keys ended up in. Mama had a coffee cabinet, and all the cabinets that went down the wall in the kitchen. All it had in it was coffee cups and different types of canned coffee, and my keys ended up inside that cabinet. And I don't think I've ever even opened that cabinet. But I just seen when you put that comment up, and I wanted to put that up because I think those of us that have had any type of dealings at all with the paranormal, I think we've all experienced something like that. Um,
No, that's actually very interesting. I worked for 20 years in DuPont, um, outside Londonderry, a Lycra manufacturing plant, just big factory, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And one night I was in machine 8, and I'm talking middle of the night. I had everything sorted out. I sat down at my desk, put my feet up, and I dozed off. And I woke up, and well, I can't really do it on this, but opened one eye, and I sort of saw somebody in front of me, a figure in black.
Oh,
Thought
wow.
nothing of it, dozed off again. Then, within, as far as I was concerned, within a few seconds, I woke up again. I thought, who was that? Who was looking at me? So I jumped out, and now there was 3 sets of sliding doors, and I was beside the middle set of sliding doors. I ran out. I looked, didn't see anyone, and then I ran to the bottom of the stairwell where the lift was, and there was nobody in the lift. There was nobody on the stairs. So I just went back to the machine, didn't think anything about it. I put it down to being tired, sleep hallucination, if you understand me.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Absolutely.
a while afterwards, we were just sitting in the tea room talking about it. And one of the guy, he came up in conversation, and one of the fellas says, "Oh, he says, you've seen the ghost." But where that factory was, it was built on the site of an old um, RAF airfield from the war. And apparently,
Some
some
soldiers.
kid walked into the propellers and lost his head.
Wow.
And
Wow.
they've talked about ever since, about the headless airman sort of thing.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
the way it was set out, it was sort of 3 blocks, and the warehouse was the 3rd block, and there was a guy worked out there, drove the forklifts, and apparently he saw the personality the whole time.
Wow.
But he just treated him as normal. He just ignored him. But he told me out of his own mouth he would be driving about the forklift and doing his business, doing his job, whatever. And there was a dark figure just standing in the corner watching.
That would scare me.
And again, as I say, I didn't see it, but well, I did see the black figure myself that time, but I'm not going to say that man didn't see what he thought he was seeing. You understand?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, I'd, this right here, what he's saying, I don't know if you had seen that, where he says, one night I just gotten into bed and I heard a cat come in the room purring. It jumped on my bed and laid on my legs. I reached down to pet it and realized we didn't have a cat. We had the same thing, that same house, and I'd forgotten about it until I seen him put that comment up. I heard a cat come in my room, and I heard the purring, and it went under the bed, and I could feel it bumping the bottom of the bed. And I got up, turned the light on, and I didn't see anything under the bed other than some shoe boxes and some junk that I had under there as a teenager. But that's odd. You hear a lot about cats in a lot of places that are haunted. And I just, I wonder if there's anything to that, or if it's just.
Cats are amazing creatures. They really are. As I say, I had that one, Lewis One Eye, and she lived to be nearly 20 years of age for a cat, and that's a long life. But the time I lived, as we talked about last night, up in the park, up in the country, she
Yeah.
I used to go out and work 12-hour shifts, and she just left the house. She was in the woods. But I drove a Golf, turbo diesel Golf at the time.
Oh, yeah, Volkswagen. Yeah.
But she was in the woods. Now I'm talking 500 meters or more away, just to get to the border of the woods. And I would drive past, go up to the house, reverse the car into the drive, and by the time I got there, went to the back door, the cat was sitting waiting on me.
Wow.
She knew the exact noise of the car, and she knew to come home to get fed.
Wow.
Just click.
With this, I just seen where Don in the chat was asking about if cryptids, the cryptid thing kind of went this direction, like towards the paranormal. And you know, we had the paranormal stuff that happened here. Pappy had brought it up to me once before. I found at our property, not here at our house, but we have 10 acres up the road from us, a little ways. I found 2 deer heads, not does. These were bucks. And in America, the hunters, they usually hunt for the heads to get the horns and all. They don't hunt for the meat. They're hunting so they can have that big rack buck on their wall. And they do not throw buck heads away. And the west side of our property, that neighbor, the joining property, that's where I get all the activity of that property. That's all where all the weird stuff happens. And I was up there, and there were 2 deer heads laying on the ground. And it looked like, I thought that looked like they were torn off, not cut off. I mean, there was no cut marks at all. They were like they were ripped off. And I brought them home. Well, I put them in next to an ant bed by my little garden area, and I stirred the ants up so they'd get on them and clean the head up. And days later, I pulled them up. The ants are gone. The ant bed's not there no more. I don't know where they went. The eyes in the deer were still shiny, like it just had died. And there was not one fly on it. There was not one insect. None of the bugs would eat anything on the head. And I finally ended up, the head, when we got him here, the paranormal activity started not long after. And I had a live stream, and I was showing the heads to the people in the live stream and said, I don't know what to do with them. It's kind of bothering me that the insects aren't eating them. The buzzards aren't eating it. What's wrong with them? What's going on with this? Well, I got creeped out, and I took them up back in the woods, and I tossed them. But that's when the activity started, and it didn't dawn on me until Pappy had mentioned it to me. We had a conversation not too long afterwards, and he had brought it up. Do you think that bringing those heads home had something to do with the paranormal activity? And I think it has. I really do. I don't know how.
I'll tell you a lighthearted story. Now, you talk about people in America, and they bring, the head and the antlers home for a trophy.
Yes, yeah.
And whenever I was just in the army, I was only 18 years of age, and I went into the senior officers' mess. It was somebody else. But they had a plaque on the wall with different regiments' insignia, and a bagpipe chanter set above, the insignia. Your man turned around to me and he says, I wonder where they shot that.
Oh, that's funny. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, Lord. Well, I'm gonna have to cut this short tonight, Derek. And you guys in
That's
the chat.
No problem. It's after 3 a.m. here anyway. So
yeah,
it's time for me to go to bed.
Yeah, it's almost 9:15 here, and I got to be up at 3 a.m. But I just the main reason for tonight's show was to bring on Coindigger's encounter and share it with you. It's those type encounters are so scary to me. And did you hear it when I read his encounter off?
Oh, sorry, I was listening to Gary Nedrotic and Friday Night Tights, and then I saw you were live, so I jumped over.
Oh yeah, well I'll tell you what, there's a few more people in here from where there was when I read it, and if it's okay with you, Coindigger, I'm going to read it one more time, real quick. It's not very long, but it's detailed, and the way he words it, you can very easily imagine yourself there. But I want to share that with you because a lot of you guys in the chat didn't get to hear it. You weren't here for it, and so I'm going to read it again. It won't take 2 minutes. But it's just an awesome encounter. And this is Coindigger. He's in the chat right now. He's part of our family. He's not a visitor. He is a permanent member of our family here on Standing Goods Rescue. And he sent it to me today. So I'm going to put it back out there one more time for you guys. He starts with, I'm 50 years old now, and back in 1995, I was dating a lady friend, and we lived 4 miles apart. I decided one late night at 3 a.m. to walk to her home as she welcomed me to. I was walking a secondary paved road out in the deep country, and it was very low visibility. And I started to hear something was walking alongside me in the wood line up off the berm that seemed to come out of nowhere. And as I stepped up my walking pace, it did as well. As I would stop, the same as it did. I stood quiet for a minute and it made no noises. So I started jogging and it kept my pace. And then all of a sudden, it ran approximately 10 feet ahead of me, still in the woods. And then I heard it coming down off the embankment, crossing the road with what I knew was a bipedal run, with hearing the soles of its feet slapping off the pavement as it made it to the other side of the road into the woods. It stopped and gave a whistling sound as it breathed, as if it was congested. I continued past it all the while. It stood there and it turned and walked away. It had a big impact on me for years. I'm born again, and I was then also. Thanks for hearing my story. But
See, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Coindigger's still in the chat. The thing is, he was alert and he realized something was trailing him,
Oh
following him.
yeah.
You think for every person like Coindigger that realizes they're being stalked or passed by or whatever you want to call it, there's 100 people that walk around oblivious, that don't even see what's going on around them. That's the that's the point I would take out of that. Obviously, Coindigger was switched on. He realized something was happening. But how many people just walks about, head in the air, having a clue what's going on?
There's so many that do that. They just, and I was one of them for a long time. I just didn't pay much attention to the happenings around me. I was always focused on what was in front of me. And then after my encounter, all that changed. I pay attention to every twig. If I think I may have heard something, I'll turn and check. I get scared so easily now. We're gonna.
I wouldn't call it scared. I would just call it being cautious and being sensible.
Oh yeah. For you guys that remember, a while back, we had Miss Sally came on and was talking about her experiences. She lives in West Virginia in the mountains, and she had a lot of stuff going on with the Sasquatch up there. But I'm gonna try to bring her on tomorrow night. She did contact me, and she's had some more experiences, some more things going on up there. And so if you're available tomorrow night, I'm going to try to get Miss Sally to come back on and share what she's witnessed since the last time she came on the show. She's had kind of a life history of encountering these creatures, and she shared a lot of what the new things that have happened. But she recently messaged me that there's been even more things happening as far as the Sasquatch, the big fellas, are concerned. So if you guys, if you'll be around tomorrow evening, if I can get back home, because I'm going out of town in the morning, and if I can make it back home in time, I'm gonna try to see if she wants to come on and share, give us an update with the stuff that's happening with her now. But Derek, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And because you're too quiet and too honest to say it, to the chat, everyone, if you haven't already done it, hit the like button, hit the little bell, That'll give you
Oh, yeah,
information for whenever
yeah.
the next
I don't
streams
think
come.
I don't think I've ever said that. Um,
No,
and it
well,
does.
I'm saying it for you.
Thank you so much,
Hit the
Derek.
like, hit the little bell, make a comment in the chat. It all helps with the algorithm for YouTube. And
Yes, it
hopefully,
does.
hopefully I'll be up tomorrow. So, well, tomorrow morning whenever you're on, and I'll try and catch up
Oh yeah,
with you
yeah. I'm gonna
tomorrow and
try to
listen to the stories.
yeah, yeah. Randy's asking what time tomorrow, and I seen somebody else had asked what time. I'm gonna try to get her on around between 6 and 7 o'clock Central Time, which will be 7 and 8 o'clock Eastern.
Wait,
I
1
can't
a.m.
remember.
here then? No, that's not a
Wow.
problem. I'll give you a shout. Well,
Yeah, if I make it back in time, we have to feed the goats at 5 o'clock, and that takes almost an hour to do all of that. And so I can't really do nothing between 5 and 6. Um, and I'm not sure that I'll be back uh, earlier than 4:30. I don't know if I'll even make it back by then, but I'm going to try to get her on tomorrow night. And if I do, I will post an update. I'll have to talk to her tomorrow, but I won't be able to call her until I leave. I'm going with some other people. We're going hunting tomorrow in another area, another city, or another town, and I will be going with them as a guest. And so I'll have to. Whenever they leave is when I'll be leaving, and I'm not sure when that is. But I will post an update as soon as I speak to her. I know what time I'll be here. Once I have a definite time, I'll post an update on it. But I'm going to shoot between 6 and 7 Central Time, 7 and 8.
yeah, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night.
Yep, or 1 o'clock Irish time. Derek,
All right.
thank you, brother. And
Take care.
you guys in the chat,
All
thank
right.
you all for being here with us. And Coindigger, thank you for sharing that. I greatly appreciate it. I'm absolutely honored for you doing that. God bless you, my brother, and all of you in the chat. I love you guys. Honor all of you. And if you have anything you'd like to share with us on here, whether if you want to email it in and have me narrate it or put it in a video format, or if you want to come on and tell it yourself, I'm open for anything. Just send me an email. The email address is at the bottom of the screen right now, standinggoatsrescue@outlook.com, and we will line it up and get you out here and get your story put out. But thank you all. I love you guys. God bless you. Y'all have a wonderful evening. And if I don't see you before tomorrow night, which I probably won't, you guys be safe. God bless you, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Good evening.